Hello everybody, it's me Colin, and we are here for the Pencil Pro Series, the first duel at Daytona. And there will be two duels in the day, so you see the first half of the field competing here, and the last half will be competing later today. Here are the go-or-go-homers that have to race their way in. 6 of these drivers will not be making the Daytona 500. Who they will be, we're just going to have to find out, because we have these qualifying races to figure that out. So the last 3 in this race will not make the the Daytona 500, and then etc. in the other duel. However, we see our starting lineup. Jay Darrell, last year's champion, and Eric Willis are in the front row. Arsha Sain and Rick Witt are in row 2. Rick Witt, surprisingly, a go-or-go homer. Row 3, Webster Zygarde and Cody Russell driving for Big Motorsports. Row 4, Matthew Brown and Zach Cars, the number 98. Row 5 has Addison Steinbach and John Gilbert trying to make his way into the field. Row 6, Derek Petrie and Blaine Keys, both cars looking very strong in practice. Row 7, Jesse Dalton trying to make his way in, and Daniel Maxwell as well for DW Motorsports. Row 8, Sam Rogers supporting Dean Wickard and Kyle Collins. Row 9, Allison Davidson and Jack Porkins filling in for Stuart Gratton. Row 10 is Nikita Riskoff and Jeremy Jones. Row 11 has Joseph Strigley and John Cittadino. Cittadino trying to make the race. Row 12 on the back of the field, Dion Scott and Carson Scott, not related, both trying to make the race into their field. Anyways, the pace car dips off, and we are about to get set to go green flag racing. Green flags in the air, and we are here for the first duel. Already a little movement in the back, but Jay Darrell will pull off the start out of turn 2 and take the lead away from Eric Willis. However, behind him, Arsha Sain really reeling him in already, but he has to worry about Webster Zygarde coming below. Zygarde, if you remember, was quick in qualifying and practice for the Bud Shootout, and obviously he had a good starting spot here. Zygarde really strong all weekend long, and Zygarde really I feel like he'll actually get a win here, whether it's in this duel or in the Daytona 500 before long. Supporting Dean Wickard, you see the pink of the car. A fellow competitor that lost his life in a car accident and was scheduled to run in this race, but however, due to him losing his life, his ride was given up, and the 93 is now going to be driven by Jeremy Jones, a young gun who's trying to make a name in the series, obviously already has, driving the 93. The 09 car, Jesse Dalton, is currently trying to make his way into the field as well. Jesse has been having a few problems with scheduling, and the reason why is because he was supposed to be driving for Philippines Racing Development. However, due to banning issues, as the series banned him from the league entirely, he was dropped from the ride at the team, and the guy had to figure out where he was going to go, and he somehow found a way to convince Knight Racing to expand their team to a 2-car field, fielded the team, and he got a ride there for the 09 car. So Dalton extremely thankful to be in this race at all, and obviously if you think about it, 48 drivers in the series. There were supposed to be 50, but Ferdinand and Herjar and Alonso, who were banned as well from the series, are not in it anymore. So only 48 drivers. If they were in it, we'd actually see 8 drivers going home. I guess less drivers to feel down and watching at home, I guess. But at front, we see Joseph Strigley and Nikita Riskoff going at it. Riskoff, the last driver out, and almost made it into the same spot, but he is a go-or-go homer. Inside him, Addison Steinbach making his way up. Toyotas were the least popular manufacturer last year, as they did not have as many drivers as the other manufacturers. However, somehow they have boosted to the top. The most drivers with the same manufacturer is Toyota, as they're the most plentiful this season. Probably because Mali Motorsports and Team SFR exist now, but anyways, we see John Gilbert make his way up to the field, as well as Carson Scott, Daniel Maxwell. Actually, that's 3 go-or-go homers right at the front of the field there. However, if we know anything about this pack, we know that they will be sent to the back before long. We're looking at the 6 car, not driven by Stuart Gratton, but driven by Porkins. If you watch the Copperhead Amateur Series qualifying, you know that Stuart Gratton is on leave right now due to personal issues, and he gave his ride over to Cody Smart in the Copperhead Amateur Series, and now Jack Porkins in this series. Porkins will be driving for Red Stallion Racing in the Copperhead Amateur Series, otherwise known as the Red Viper Racing in the Pennzoil Pro Series. You see, that's his kind of teammate, I guess, quarter teammate, Rick Witt, in front of him, so those two probably know each other. Rather, they are actually competitors in the Copperhead Amateur Series. But as you see, he's getting drafted to the outside here, and he's falling back really quick. Driving the Xfinity Ford, we hope that we can see him make the Daytona 500. And whoever Stewart is, I'm sure he'd like to see if Porkins could actually make a win here in his replacement seat. Well, the field is pretty much cycled around as Jay Durrell and Arsha Sane are back at the front, and they started first and third in the grid. These street cars were very quick in qualifying, and they've really not surprised us all. Jay Durrell, Season 2 champion, it's a given that he's going to be really fast. However, Arsha Sane, driving for the new National Racing, as they expanded, they took crewmen from the departing Philippines Racing Development and JT Motorsports that disbanded after the year ended, so they have even more equipment now. Looking at Sam Rogers and Webster Zygarde both running pink-styled schemes to commemorate Dean Wicker. Obviously, it's a sad week for all of us because Dean was supposed to be racing here with us, but obviously that is not the case now, as these guys decided to paint memorial schemes, and we'll see the Copperhead Amateur Series race. There are a few in that series as well, so just to commemorate the loss of Dean Wicker and just one of the young guys that got killed in a car accident. It's very sad, but the field is definitely showing their pride for Dean, really giving him a good farewell, as really, it's a sad moment, but you see pit stops here, but it's really good that we see that happen, and it's special that we see that out here. And looking at pit road, it's a Carson Scott, as well as a lot of veterans down there, including Jeremy Jones driving the 93 car, who would have been driven by Dean Wicker, driving Noki on the car. And we see the second group come in now. 6 laps to go. We are currently seeing probably a 5-lap dash to the finish from here, but it's how you make it out of pit road that really will affect how well you do in these final 5 laps. It looks like Arsha Sane really got off pit road really well. Joseph Strigley trying to get around the outside. Remember, in the first 6 races of the Pennzoil Pro Series, we thought he was just going to run away with a championship despite being a rookie, but that all kind of faded in the last 10 of the regular season. Strigley hoping to continue that dominance in these first 6 races, and obviously, with this really good dual finish, I mean, he looks like he will. And in the back, we have some disappointing runs here. Sam Rogers and John Gilbert. Sam safe from a bump up, but John Gilbert not looking too good because he is a go-or-go-homer. And looking back here, we see Allison Davidson and Rick Witt. Both of those drivers are go-or-go-homers. And if Rick Witt misses the field, that would be incredible. You see, actually, Rick is not, his hope isn't completely lost because you see John Citadino's there as well. Allison Davidson, all 3 of those drivers, if they want to make the race, they're going to have to drive their hearts out these last 3 laps. Well, we go to 2 to go here. Arsha Sane out front. Carson Scott running 3rd, or at least going to get bumped back to 4th here. That's just a good run in general for that team. Knight Racing expanding their 2 cars. Not sure how that would have worked out for the team, but it looks like they're getting Carson Scott in the field. Arsha Sane, though, has been the dominating driver so far after pit stops. He's leading the field this entire time. Ryan Dunn falling in behind with Kyle Collins in 3rd. Collins, the Bud Shootout winner. Could we see him win the duels here as well? It's entirely possible. If Ryan Dunn makes the move, not Ryan Dunn, Zach Cars. If Zach Cars makes the move. You see the white flag out, 2 cars in the back are Joseph Strigley and Addison Steinbach. A 6-car field in this final lap. Who will take home the first duel win? We saw Carson Scott move Kyle Collins out of the way, but really there's no struggle at the front at all for Arsha Sane. He's just leading the field around. The only battle we see back there is for 4th, but it looks like Carson Scott's going to go after Zach Cars, and that might be it. Arsha Singh might be able to get away from here, unless Carson Scott gets a really good run. Out of turn 4. It looks like he'll do it. The Star Spangled Banner car of Arsha Singh will take the checkered flag, and National Racing will take the first duel win. And it was a pretty simple finish there at the end, but it's only a duel, and I'm sure that Daytona 500 will be a lot more intense than that. Arsha Singh, though, congratulations for him, as he's going to go to Gatorade Victory Lane. Doesn't want to really burn up the tires, because that's the car he'll be using for the Daytona 500. Scott finishes 2nd, but still he's in the Daytona 500. Good for him. Jesse Dalton, his teammate, is also in it in 7th. Looking through the field, Jay Durrell, your pole sitter, finishes 8th. Not a bad run. I believe that's where he actually finished in the Bud Shootout. Jack Porkins will make the race, fielding in for Stuart Gratton. And Nikita Rizkov also in the field. However, here are the drivers that are not in. John Gilbert, Allison Davidson, and John Cittadino are your field that will not make the Daytona 500. And Rick Witt survives, and he'll claim his spot in the chase. So, good job for Rick making his way, and that's all I gotta say. But here we are, duel number 2, as the field gets lined up. The rest of the 24 drivers, 3 more have yet to be decided on who will miss the field. Brock McMahon and Daniel Voiles lead with the pace car out of pit road. We're going to see who will be the winner here in Duel 2, and who will be the 3 that go home. Red Viper Racing on the pole for this race. Michael Jones and Zach Komoski in row 2. Row 3 has Brian Lenning making his first start of the year, and Nick Purcell's in row 3. Row 4, Ryan Dunn and Brian Boone for Bad Dad Racing. Row 5 has Jack Newman and Kyle Singer. Jack Newman is the Bud Shootout Season 1 winner. Definitely has talent to win here at Super Speedways. Jay Barker and Ryan Kendall make up row 6. Row 7, Aaron Lukes driving the famed number 5, and Tyler Selspin in the 78. Row 8, Cesar Chavez and Cole Baker. Row 9 has William Brock and Mackenzie Rustin. Row 10, Jose Viquez, last year's Rookie of the Year champion, and Nicholas Samudio. Row 11, Haley Wish and James Johnson for the new Overdrive Motorsports. And finally, row 12, Ruben Easton and Tony Green. We're looking from the pace car, and we're going to watch the field roll off here. And the field going through the tri-oval. We're about to get the command. Great flag is in the air. What a jump for Voiles as he gets off the grid very quickly, with Michael Jones right behind him. Brian Lenning, Brock McMahon just failed to start there. I believe he spun his tires, but it let the inside line just get away. Michael Jones to the inside of Daniel Voiles, already putting him back. But really, in the 20-lap race, that's not a big concern. In fact, if we do see a wreck, Daniel Voiles would most likely be better off in the back. Michael Jones, like they say, the best spot to be is out front, but second place may not be the better spot of the two. And second place currently belongs to Daniel Voiles, but it looks like he's going to go back on the outside line. Obviously, no one really cares, though, about putting themselves in a good position. Everyone wants to be at the front here. Looking at Cesar Chavez, last year was kind of a terrible year. I'm putting that in retrospect, but Cesar Chavez he got dumped from Philippines Racing Development, and the team owner basically made racial comments towards him. It was a bad scenario, but Double T Motorsports was able to pick them up, and now they're going to run full-time in this 03 car, taking the place of Chloe Baker, who departed, and the 03 car looking to try to take home a win in this Bud duel. Maybe duel. This isn't the Bud Shootout, but the maybe duel. We already saw Arsha Singh win it, and that's a new team driver. Could we see Cesar Chavez driving for a new team take it as well? It looks like he's going to go underneath Michael Jones here. However, he has some help from behind. I see 3 dodges, or now 2 as Mackenzie Rusty got moved out of the way. But look at that, that's Overdrive Motorsports that are first and third, and almost certainly going to be first and second. Ruby Easton now in front, but how about that? Overdrive Motorsports, a lot of adversity coming towards this team. A new team, 2 rookie drivers. They're not expected to make any big marks as they are one of the lowest tier teams in the series. But if both of them can make the Daytona 500, that'd just be astounding. And right now, how they're going right now, it looks like they might just do that. Nicholas Smudia, a single car team, now on the bottom. However, another single car team, a new one, coming in behind him, William Brock. Nicholas Smudia with help from Cole Baker behind him. And we got a caution on the track. 1 car through the grass, 1 car spinning. Didn't look like too big of an issue. Uh-oh, I think the back of the field got taken out. This might give me chills as it looks like Brian Boone is going to be involved and Ryan Kendall. Watch Kendall. Yeah, right there. That's what I was thinking happened there. Is the field looked a little too small going through turn 2. We're going to look at this. I don't believe Brian Boone actually gets any damage here, so he can just put on tires and get away. But Kendall is going to smack the Rookie of the Year left last year, Jose Viquez, and he doesn't break. It didn't look like Ryan Kendall broke at all, anywhere. I mean, he could have broken when going through the grass or when coming down the track, but yeah, that's a sickening feeling to see the 56 not even slow down. Although it could be, I don't know, probably his fault. I don't think the throttle stuck, but definitely not what either of those guys wanted to see as they're both out of the race at this point. Green flag's back out after our first caution of the year. A little exciting, I guess, if it was only a 3-car accident. But Nicholas Smudia will lead him out here. But look at Cole Baker. Lost his spot on pit road, but he's going to get it right back. Kyle Singer, new team, Big Motorsports this year. He's trying to serve them well in the Camping World Chevy. A lot of sponsorship actually on that car for this year. So despite Kyle Singer not really making an impression last year at Bad Bad Racing, honestly, it was a good thing they dropped him. Singer really hasn't impressed at all in either series, either season. He's only gotten 1 win, and that was Phoenix of Season 1. But really, he hasn't been impressive at all as you see him fall back pretty much to 12th there. Cole Baker out front, Brock McMahon behind him. Nick Purcell's there, he'll fill up the 2nd spot. Gonna go to lap 13 here. William Brock now out front. This is the single car team I was talking about. A lot of adversity facing this team as well, because not only do they have a rookie team, a rookie driver, but they are also a single car team, so they can't even share notes. But look at that, they're leading the field, and that shows you that Daytona is a friend to everyone, as long as you're not being taken out in a big one. So Brock trying to survive and trying to make it to the Daytona 500 and survive the duel. As you see, Nick Purcell's behind him. However, I'm sure he wants to win this race. Michael Jones in 3rd. Ryan Dunn hasn't really shown his face out front much, even in the Bud Shootout, but currently running back there in 4th. And Tyler Selspin in 5th. Not a bad run for him either. Now, a slower car has held up some people, and Brian Lenning and Zach Komoski have fallen out of the pack. And they are go-or-go homers, but this is bad for them. Just not a confidence booster at all, as this is not how they wanted the race to go. But this is the cause. Mackenzie Rustin with no hood. What happened? We're getting a replay here. Riding behind Tyler Selspin. And yeah, I kind of thought so. Coming out of pit road, just not paying attention to what he's doing. He's going to run right into the back of Selspin. Well, I don't think he's going to make the Daytona 500, but you can't say it's not his fault. Haley Wish, though, is the last surviving Davidson Motorsports car, because if you remember back to the first duel, Allison Davidson was out, so Haley Wish is their last hope right now to try to make it in. She's trying to do the best she can. See Tyler Selspin, he's actually in 3rd. He fell back pretty quick, I must say, but Selspin is currently that last driver, so he'd be out as well. And they're going to catch Mackenzie Rustin quicker than we think, and wow, William Brock just has nowhere to go, and the 2 single-car teams are held up on the bottom. But look at the outside, Daniel Voiles and Kyle Singer coming on the outside. And look at this. 2 laps to go, and Daniel Voiles, if there's a doubt in your mind that Daniel is not good at super speedways, just take a look at his finish, his second year this year in the Bud Shootout. He won the Bud Shootout last year, and look where he's running right now in the duels, so definitely is able to find his way out front easily. Either that or he just has a really good car this year. But Voiles really going to be shown as a competitor leading into Daytona 500. Final lap is in the air, but the other tandem is coming. Michael Jones and Cesar Chavez. Daniel Voiles goes down to block, leaving Kyle Singer out to dry, and here comes William Brock in the Connect Chevy. And there goes Jones, diving to the inside. Wherever Daniel Voiles finishes, this is definitely an impressive run for the 99 car, but Michael Jones wants to make sure it is not first. William Brock, just with so much speed, gonna push him to the front. Out of turn 4, will he make a move? Oh, Nicholas Samudio does. And Jones going down the track, checkered flag. Michael Jones will win it. Not enough time for William Brock. And what an incredible finish there, as definitely a lot more condensed this time around. And Michael Jones will take his 3rd win of his career at the duel. And it will send his car to victory lane to join Arsha Sane, a Chevy and a Dodge, win the duels today. And we see William Brock, he'll make the field. Pretty much the cars in sky of this duel. Looking down, Tyler Selspin, Cole Baker, and Tony Green all make the duel. All make the Daytona 500. And how about some honorable mentions? Daniel Voiles, they're not a bad start to his year. And Ryan Dunn and Jay Barker down in 13th and 14th. But here's the people that missed it. James Johnson, Haley Wish, and Mackenzie Rustin are out. And that is not good for Davidson Motorsports. All 3 of their cars are not in the 500. And what a shame for that team, but I guess they gotta get motivation to do better next week, I guess, because none of them are making the field. There's your go or go homers, and that's who is not making the race in red. An incredible day here today. 2 races, 2 duels, 2 winners, but we got 1 Daytona 500 coming up next. We'll see you next time on the ASCA channel.